What would you do if you heard your child's cry in the wild and knew it could be their last? In the heart of Tsavo, as the sun painted the grasslands gold, a lioness named Nuru faced a nightmare no mother ever should. Her cub, trapped in the crushing coils of a giant python. But this isn't just a story of predator and prey. It's about love, instinct, and the roar that refused to fade. Stay with me, because what happens next will leave you breathless. In the golden haze of early evening in Tsavo National Park, the grass shimmered like fire. Nuru, a seasoned lioness, rested near an acacia tree, while her cub, Tano, tumbled playfully nearby, his soft roars echoing with innocence. But beneath the tall brush, something ancient stirred. A massive African rock python, its belly swollen from hunger, slithered silently through the dry undergrowth. Its beady eyes locked on the cub. Tano didn't notice. He was sniffing butterflies. Then, like lightning, the python lunged. In a blink, it coiled around Tano's small body, its crushing grip squeezing the breath from him. His squeal pierced the savanna. Nuru's ears snapped forward. Her head rose, eyes sharp. The second roar was hers. A mother's roar, primal and deafening. She charged, no hesitation, no fear. With claws unsheathed and fangs bared, she slammed into the python, biting deep into its thick flesh. The snake hissed and tightened, but Nuru was relentless. Dust exploded around them as predator clashed with predator. Finally, the coils loosened. Tano coughed and scrambled free. The python slithered away, wounded. And Nuru? She stood over her cub, chest heaving, eyes blazing. She didn't just save her son. She made a promise. Nothing takes him while I breathe. As the sun dipped behind the hills of Tsavo National Park, the air turned golden and still. Little Tano, full of youthful energy, padded curiously near a shady bush, chasing grasshoppers, sniffing blossoms, lost in the innocence of cubhood. Nearby, Nuru, his mother, watched with relaxed eyes but alert ears. Yet beneath the dry scrub, something cold-blooded moved with lethal precision. A giant African rock python, nearly invisible in the fading light, had been stalking the cub's scent. When Tano stepped too close, it struck with blinding speed, wrapping its thick coils around the cub's soft body. Tano squealed, a sharp, desperate cry that sliced through the stillness. Nuru's body reacted before her mind could. In one motion, she exploded forward, roaring with raw fury. She slammed into the python, biting, clawing, her rage volcanic. The snake coiled tighter, but Nuru was a force of nature. Dust flew, blood sprayed. She didn't stop. Finally, with a torn hiss, the python released. Tano gasped and rolled free, wheezing but alive. The snake slithered off, battered, and Nuru, bloodied, panting, eyes ablaze, she stood over her son. In that moment, the savanna knew no beast survives a lioness's wrath when her cub is in danger. The moment Tano's cry sliced through the golden air, Nuru's instincts ignited like fire in dry grass. She didn't need to see, she knew. Her cub was in danger. From her resting spot beneath the acacia, she leapt forward like a thunderclap, paws pounding the earth, eyes blazing with maternal fury. There was no hesitation, no calculation, only the roar of a mother who had just heard her child's last breath slipping away. Through the dust and brush, she spotted them. Her son wrapped in the crushing grip of an African rock python, his body limp, eyes wide with terror. Nuru didn't slow. She roared, not as a warning, but as a declaration. The python hissed and coiled tighter, its muscle-bound body built for suffocation. But Nuru was a force far older than fear. She launched herself onto the snake, teeth sinking into flesh, claws slashing in a whirlwind of rage. She fought not just for survival, but for blood, for love, for lineage. And in that wild, dust-filled blur of chaos, something shifted. It wasn't just a lioness attacking a predator. It was a mother defying death itself. And in that moment, the savanna didn't just watch, it listened. The savanna erupted in chaos. Dust spun through the air as Nuru clashed with the python, two primal forces locked in a deadly struggle. The snake's massive coils tightened around Tano with crushing force, its thick muscles pulsing in rhythmic death. But Nuru didn't flinch. She was no longer just a lioness. She was war incarnate. With every swipe of her claws, chunks of scales flew. With every bite, she dug deeper into the python's flesh, her teeth searching for the spine beneath its armored hide. The python thrashed violently, wrapping its tail around Nuru's hind legs, trying to pull her away, but she held fast, digging in with raw fury. Blood mixed with dust. Tano lay half-conscious beneath the coils, silent, limp, fading. Nuru saw it, and something deeper awakened. This wasn't a fight for survival. It was a declaration of love. She roared again, louder, sharper, shaking the very trees. The python recoiled, wounded and overwhelmed. It loosened just enough. With one final blow to the neck, Nuru forced the snake to retreat, its broken body slithering back into the brush. She didn't chase. She didn't gloat. She turned instead to her cub, because the fight was never for dominance. It was for him. The world went still. Dust hung in the air like smoke after a battle. For a moment, it seemed the python might win, its massive coils squeezing tighter, each second draining breath from Tano's small frame. But Nuru wasn't done. With one final roar, she sank her teeth deep into the thickest part of the python's body and twisted violently. The snake jerked back, its strength faltering. Then, something gave. A sharp twitch, a split-second hesitation. The coils loosened. Tano's tiny chest rose with a gasp, his first breath after the silence of death. He stumbled out of the coils, coughing, dazed, eyes wide. His legs wobbled beneath him, but he was alive. The python recoiled, its body mangled and bloodied, and slithered quickly into the brush, defeated. Nuru stepped between it and her son, watching it disappear into the shadows. Her flanks heaved with exhaustion, but her eyes never left the bush until it was gone. Then she turned to Tano. He collapsed against her front legs, panting. She lowered her head, nuzzling him gently, licking the dirt and blood from his fur. There were no words in the wild, only actions. And this one said it all. You are mine, and you are safe. The sun dipped low over Tsavo, casting long shadows across the blood-streaked earth. The python had vanished into the underbrush, leaving only silence and the scent of survival in its wake. Nuru stood over her cub, chest heaving, flanks streaked with dirt and crimson. Her claws were torn, her muscles quivered, but her eyes never left Tano. The cub lay curled at her feet, bruised and gasping, but alive. His tiny body trembled, not from fear, but from exhaustion. Slowly, he nudged forward, burying his head into his mother's chest. Nuru lowered herself beside him, wrapping her massive frame around his small, battered body. There were no roars now, no fury left, only breath, only warmth, only the quiet rhythm of a bond that no predator could break. Nuru licked his ear gently, a mother's reassurance, as the last rays of golden light faded from the sky. The savanna exhaled. Safe in the shadows of an acacia tree, they rested. The fight was over. The nightmare had passed. And though wounds remained, so did something stronger, love, carved in claw marks and sealed in survival. In that hush of twilight, Tsavo remembered, A mother's roar may shake the plains, but her silence keeps her cub alive. In the wild, there are no lullabies, only instincts, survival, and silence. But what Nuru did that day rewrote what it means to be a mother in the animal kingdom. Her roar wasn't just a sound, it was a declaration, a promise. In the face of death, she didn't hesitate. She didn't calculate. She chose to fight, not because she was stronger than the python, but because something deeper called her forward: love. Tano would never remember the moment he nearly died, but the scar on his side would carry the story. And Nuru? She would walk the savanna not as just a hunter, but as a legend. The python was gone. The danger had passed. But the impact of that battle echoed through the grasslands like thunder after lightning. And far beyond Tsavo, where humans debate instinct and emotion, her story stands tall. Proof that in every mother, lion or otherwise, burns a fire that will not be dimmed by fear. Because when the wild tests the bond between mother and child, there is only one law greater than nature's: protect what you love, at all costs. That is the roar that never fades, and that is what makes her queen. In the heart of the wild, survival often hinges not on strength alone, but on love. Nuru didn't pause to think when danger came for her cub. She roared, she fought, and she triumphed, not for glory, but for something far more powerful: the bond between mother and child. Her courage reminds us that real strength is quiet, instinctive, and driven by love. In our lives, too, it's not power that defines us. It's what we're willing to protect. If this story touched your heart, please like the video and subscribe. Your support helps keep these powerful stories alive.